What's up, you guys? Slim here with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys my updated True Draco Invoked Windwitch Spellbook deck. Good luck to me putting that in the title, dear Lord Jesus. Like, there's so many engines mashed into this deck, but you guys already knew that I would be updating this deck. I told you guys in my ban list video, and you guys already know this is the deck I've been playing pretty much for the end of last format and also the beginning of this format, even though it's only a day old, but automatically decided to go back to it and just make some just change a couple cards around. I did add back the Windwitches because we've lost quite a lot of Draco cards, and I do love Crystal Wing. I ultimately decided to play Windwitch Draco at the last regional, and I just really like the synergy of the old, Windwitch Invoked, and then adding the few Draco cards we have in there has just been awesome. So I'm going to get into it. You can also find this deck profile on my brother Sam's channel, Team Samurai X1. He was nice enough to have me upload it there. You guys can check it out there. I'm just going to get into it for you guys. I just really like this deck. You guys already know this is one of my favorite decks, so without further ado, for the monsters, of course, 3 Alistair, one of our main just summons in the deck, being able to get our invocation. It's an honest, it does everything you want it to do. Fortunately for us, we did not get Alistair hit like Japan did. The dream died for Japan, being able to play Alistair. We're still able to play it, so I'm going to keep playing it because I love invocation, I love Alistair, I love the ability to just cycle it back to my hand, put my invocation back in my deck, and keep having a really strong normal summon or an honest. So this card is just nuts. This is basically the whole Invoke deck by itself. Then on to our Windwitches, of course. We have the 3 Ice Bell, the 2 Glass, and the 1 Snow Bell. That's very standard Windwitch. This is how you make your turn 1 Crystal Wing, make it indestructible, still a solid card, even though Masterpiece is still a card. Crystal Wing is going to go toe-to-toe with it and show him who's boss. So I really like the Windwitch engine. It also helps me make Raijin, which is one of my favorite invoked monsters. That's it for the Windwitches. For the small Draco engine, we've got 2 copies of Masterpiece and 1 Ignis. So, unfortunately, I can't play Dynamite Knight. That was my favorite one. Can't get my traps anymore. I love Dynamite Knight. You would think, why don't I play 3 Masterpiece? And testing so far, 2 has been perfect. You don't want to open multiple Masterpiece. Best believe you do not want to do that. If you don't have Diagram, it's sitting in your hand. A lot of times you just don't want that. 2 has been perfect. The 1 Ignis, because we can only play it. You have your light target and your fire targets for Makaba and for Purgatrio. These cards still do what they did last format. We're going to keep playing them because for some reason Masterpiece is still around, and at least we still have 1 Ignis to hold on to. So that's it for the Dracos. I didn't play Maiden. I didn't feel the need to. I have my wins in the Windwitch card, so I felt that was enough. Plus Maiden, I mean, being able to search the monsters is cool, but that's why we also have 3 Diagram, because they didn't want to hit that card on the list. And then for the 1 lone spellbook monster, of course, we play 1 Blue Boy. Some people might try playing 2. I really do not like 2. The reason is, I only ever want to really summon this card once. I want to summon it once, get my secrets into knowledge, and continue playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I do not want to play multiple copies. I don't feel it's necessary. With Secrets and Knowledge, you have good ratios, and a lot of players are saying, I even noticed it in Japan, the 1-2-2 ratio has been perfect. So that's the only spellbook. And then hand traps. I'm still playing hand traps. The format is still being defined, obviously, but I want to keep it safe because you never know what you're going to run into. So I've got 2 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Ogre, and the 1 Max C. If you guys remember, this was my exact lineup from before. I haven't changed it. I like Ash a lot. It's just good. Desires, anything. It's going to be more relevant as the format continues to establish itself. With ABC coming back, it's another really just solid card. Ogre is probably the most questionable one, but again, our format is still being established. I like Ogre being able to take out opposing diagrams before they can even get anything off. Best believe people are going to be playing True Draco in some way or form because it is still, with 3 Masterpiece, 3 Diagram, 3 Terraforming, we still have, Masterpiece.deck, so you need to be able to prepare for that, and I feel that this was the best way to do it. Then, of course, the God card Max C needs no explanation. And again, make sure Megalancia, make sure Makaba, make sure Purgatrio, so they're all there. Also can help to make some Synchros in our extra deck if need be. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells. The 3 Diagram, which they decided to not ban and has decided to shoot up in price, so yay for that, I guess. 2 copies of Meltdown, along with still at 3 Terraforming. So this was exactly what we played last time. It has not changed. It's been absolutely perfect. Meltdown gets your Alistair, Diagram does Draco things, and Terraforming makes it all happen. Self-explanatory. I don't know how 3 Diagram, 3 Terraforming survived on this list, but I am not the one making the list, so there we go. Now, on to the True Draco spells. I only play 3 Heritage. The reason is when I initially worked on this deck with my homie Ben, shout out to my homie Ben Doman, we were talking about this because obviously our Draco engine has gone down severely. We have only 3 monsters. We have only the 1 trap in return because I do not play Apocalypse. I'll explain to that when I get to the traps. But Heritage has proven to be the best one because it is still going to net you draws, and you need continuous spells to make your masterpiece effective. You need to be able to have these spells face up so that you contribute over this and a monster to make your masterpiece monster spell immune. That's usually what we're going for. In testing, that's what it's been, because the traps, I mean, with Return at 1 and Apocalypse, I mean, I don't even know if people are still playing Apocalypse. It might be a 1 of. I honestly don't know. Like, again, the format is still being established. This card is still proven to be the best one. Draco Phoenix is not needed because we were not recycling. If you remember in the build, originally we were only running 2 because it wasn't necessary to really recycle all our cards. We get our power from our Crystal Wing and from our Invoke monsters, and the Draco engine just finishes the job. So that's why I'm playing 3. Feel free to change any ratios. And like I always say, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But that's it for the Draco spell engine. Then for our spellbook engine, I know we have a million engines in here, you guys. Just bear with me. 2 Spellbook of Secret, 2 Spellbook of Knowledge. Wouldn't change this at all. This is perfect. The 2-2-1 ratio with Blue Boy has proven to be the most consistent and the most effective when playing this deck. And the last spell is 2 Invocation, because Alistair Invocation, it's the deck. Now, people have questioned, why don't I just play 1? The reason is, there are 2 situations where I noticed playing 1 just really screwed me up, and it was... obviously, I'm not playing Pot of Desires. You know, we have our draw engine. I'm not playing Pot of Desires in the deck. I want to see all my cards. I don't want to banish anything. Invocation has proven to be ineffective when you get debarriered. Now, I don't know if debarrier is still going to be main decked, but I can tell you how many times you go Invocation with 1, they debarrier Call Fusions, you're not going to be getting that Invocation back anytime soon, if at all, for the rest of the game. Having a second one gives you the backup play later in the game for Alistair to search again. Your Alistair searches become dead if you only play 1. Also, that weird interaction where Cosmic Cyclone would hit this upon activation, that again sucks, because once it gets banished, you know, you're kind of, you know, it really does suck. So I'm definitely not a fan of just playing 1, so that's why I play 2. And that's it for the spells. Like I said, I'm not playing Pot of Desires. For the traps, now the traps have changed. I'm playing all 4 Solemns and then just the 1 Return. So the reason behind this is we're in a new format. Obviously, cards are going to be special summon, effects are going to be activated, warning is still godly. We're just playing this lineup because this is what you want going first. This is a deck that wants to go first, can play going second, and that's what you really want in a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, is you want a deck that can go first or second depending on the dice roll situation, and opening any of the Solemns is just ridiculous against pretty much anything. Even against True Draco, and I know it's not that good, but you can catch your opponent, you go to activate a card, they go chain, you go strike, it's out of there, boom, you continue playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's just really solid. And then to talk about the 1 Return as the only True Draco trap. You guys know, this is my favorite one. They put it, you guys saw my ban list. When they put it to 1, I was really sad because I really like this card. It's a Call of the Haunted and an Escalation. Why I'm not playing Apocalypse is I felt like in testing it hasn't come up that much. I am going to test it again, maybe as a 1 of, so there might be a change in this deck where I add it to make the deck 41, or I cut a card to keep the deck at 40. So far, this has proven to be the most effective. If you look at some of the old lists of Zoo Draco, now don't take that for whatever it's worth. Their ratios proved that they only needed the Return and the Heritage to get the job done, because Masterpiece was a behemoth by itself, and I'm using that same application to this deck, is that the 1 Return is really all you need. So that is it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. Now on to the extra deck. I mean, it's pretty standard. I don't really think too much has changed since I showed you guys the last profile, but we'll get into it. We'll start with the Invoked, the Invoked part of the deck. So we've got the double Macabre. You know, like I said, this is one of the only guys you ever really summon if you're not summoning Crystal Wing. We do play Lynx in this deck because I do want to have the option to have a Macabre, Crystal Wing. If any of that's even possible, I want it to be done. It does sometimes get done. Sometimes we use the Blue Boy and one of our Dracos to link, and then, you know, since they go to the grave, Return springs up, brings them back, so really cool stuff can happen there. 2 Raijin. You know, this is our Ultimate Providence, and this is our Book of Moon. I love Raijin to death, especially more now that I'm playing the Windwitches, because if you don't open Crystal Wing, but you do have a way to make Raijin, right? A Book of Moon is a Book of Moon. That's all I'm going to say. I love that card. And then the 2 copies of Purgatrio. I'm still playing 2. Ash is going to see more play. I'd rather banish their Ash or use my Ash, whatever. Purgatrio is still just a godly card. It gets big. It hits everything. It really just solid. Again, through more testing, the ratios may change. Cards may go down. Cards may go up. But for now, that was the 2 ofs. And then the 1 ofs are just 1 Megalancia and 1 Coitus. So the reason why only 1 and 1 is because Zoo, I mean, let's face it, you guys saw Robbie's video, Zoo is dead. Now, I know people are going to say that's not true. They're going to find ways to play it. I even said it in my ban list. I'm still leaving it in there because if I can banish a Zoo card, I'm going to banish a Zoo card. Water, I mean, our only water target in this deck now, Rip Dynamite, is the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, but it is still there also for the Mermail decks that are be coming up with the new support, and also for anyone that's trying to play Paleo. This card is really, really good against Paleo. So I wanted to have a toolbox of fusions available for that. On to the Synchros. Of course, Big Daddy Crystal Wing. Card's ridiculous. 1 Stardust, another option in case, you know, you need to make it good against the board wipes. We still have a Dark Hole. We still have Raigeki. There's still 1 Slumber. You know, just got to be prepared. And then the 1 Clear Wing. Now granted, this should be Fast Dragon. I don't actually own one or have access to one yet, but if you want to go ahead and pick up that card from the magazine or pick it up cheap from a vendor, I don't even know what they're going for right now, but definitely replace that card with this, replace this card with that, or, you know, do whatever. This is just another level 7 to go into if you get max seed or if anything gets stopped. This gives you an option. I really like this card at Nationals against Dryden, so, I mean, even though Dryden's not going to be a thing, it's just, it's there as an option, but if you can get Fast Dragon, get Fast Dragon. And then, of course, the 1 Winter Bell, because that's what we usually do to make our Crystal Wing. You still have the burn damage, the 1300 burn damage in between that and the bells, so that's an option. You have, I don't know if Ogre is going to be played. I usually don't burn my opponent because I don't want to get hit by Ghost Ogre, because if you get greedy, get hit by Ghost Ogre, you're not making your Crystal Wing, remember that. And then the last Synchro is actually a Black Rose. In testing, this card was just stupid. Being able to have an Alistair that survived and literally just summon one of my tuners, because I played 4 of them, and just make a Black Rose and just blow out my opponent's board is pretty crazy. I got blown out by a Black Rose in the mirror, so I said, you know what, I'm going to play this card, so that's why this card is in here. Feel free to try it out. It's really, really solid sometimes. Like, it'll come up in the most awkward situations, just like, wow, like, this card's nuts. And then for the last 2 monsters, the 2 links, the 1 Proxy Dragon, the 1 Decode Talker. Obviously, you go this, then this, opens up your zones, gives you options to play multiple extra deck monsters, and that's really the thing that links have hindered, is that you don't have the option to open Crystal Wing Raijin anymore, but through links you can open up some pretty interesting combos if you don't open the Crystal Wings. So I leave these options in here just because that's what I want. Now, this is not the perfect extra deck. There are other options you can always play, and I'm going to show some of those right now. You can always play Tornado Dragon. The card will always be solid with 2 Alistairs, or that and the Bell, the level 4 Bell. There's the Utopia package with Lightning and itself, just really solid. And then there's Dweller. These are just the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. There's Castell, there's Direwolf. There's all these cards you can play if you want to. The one thing I like about these, though, is that this makes Raijin, this makes Coitus, but this is just good against Draco and anything that resolves in the grave. And then this is just big. Like, this is face. Like, this is just big. Like, this will just beat face. So that's why it's in there. And also, worst case scenario, it's a light from Akaba. So yeah. But that is it, you guys. That is the first version for this new format of... Gotta breathe for a minute. Invoked, True Draco, Spellbook, Windwitch, every freaking engine in the deck possible deck, because I really like this deck. If you watched a lot of channels, they even said Invoke Draco, Windwitch Draco, it's going to be the way to go. They are not lying, you guys. I really like this deck. I'm going to keep testing it. Stay tuned to my Snapchat, shameless plug. That's where I post a lot of my videos, or just my recordings of me playing the deck, and just crazy hands, crazy fields that I end with decks like this. I just really like it. You know, with the hits to Draco, I mean, yeah, they're there, but being able to open Crystal Wing Masterpiece is honestly just stupid. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up honest. Crystal Wing Masterpiece is stupid. So that's another reason to play this deck. If you want to be one of those people and open Crystal Wing Masterpiece like it's nobody's business, this is the deck for you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to let me know any changes you would make, any changes that you would like to see in the deck, any other deck profiles you would like to see here on the channel, and I'll do my best to bring them to you in a speedy fashion. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.